onto Mage, Forbidden Sequence. It's 1 mana. Look at all this. There's like a bunch of extra, like, you know, rulings and whatever. So discover 8 cards, reward the Origin Stone. The Origin Stone is after you discover a card, this plays the other options and you lose 1 ability. So this one is, who was that person who pointed it out in the Discord? I don't remember, but somebody pointed it out in my Discord that you can just like do absurd stuff with ETC, and that's pretty cool, right? So you can like while this is active, if your ETC is Freezing Potion and then Mask of Cthulhu and the 9 mana thing that's similar to Mask of Cthulhu, that's just 4 mana 20 damage, right? And it gets even spicier from there. Like if you're running the Tourist, you can run the Shanty card that summons the 5/5 pirates as one of your options, and Mr. Smite as your other option. And so for all of these, I'm going to run Freezing Potion, by the way, as my activator, because like you pick the Freezing Potion with the ETC because it costs 0. So you can just play it right away and summon the OTK. So well, I mean, like with the Smite one, you could run South Sea Captain and expect to do it on 7, right? Because then you pick the South Sea Captain, it summons Smite and it summons the 5/5. So now those are 6 6s. They're 6 6s. So that's 18 damage, and the Smite deals 8 more, so it's 26, and the Captain is 3, so it's almost an OTK all to its own. So anyways, there's a lot of cool stuff if you can do to OTK with ETC, or just like burst damage with ETC, or big value with ETC if you're running the Origin Stone. So like that took me from thinking it's stupid to thinking it's interesting. This seems like something Hostage Mage would want. It does let you get, it plays the other options, right? So you could, after you discover a card, this plays the other options. You don't actually have, okay, so with the Freezing Potion, the whole time I was thinking that you had to play the card to get the other 2. But no, it just plays the other 2 whether you play it or not. It doesn't have to be Freezing Potion. So it can be So Crag's probably not better than South Sea Captain for the Smite one. Isn't Discover in Wild hot garbage? I'm talking about ETC. You get to pick what you discover from ETC. So like you put in Mask of Cthulhu and the 9-cost card, and it does 20 damage. And in Hostage Mage, you're using Rewind, and you're using what else? Naga, Tide Pool Student. So you're not discovering random stuff in Hostage Mage. You're discovering very specific stuff in Hostage Mage. What do you need to complete it? You need to discover 8 times. So that's probably what I think would prevent it from being a Hostage Mage card. Like discovering 8 times in Hostage Mage, I don't think you're doing that. Like reliably enough to go down a card in Hostage Mage. I don't think it needs it. I don't think it's worth adapting your deck to be able to do it more often, but I could be wrong. I don't think so. But as far as like creating a deck that wants to blow the opponent up with burst damage from the ETC, I think, you know, this could be something in Wild for sure. There are tons of cheap Discover cards that are good in Mage, like tons of them. So many good options. So I don't think it's gonna be hard to complete this in Wild. I think chat, all of these volume up mentions just makes me think none of you actually play Hostage Mage. When you play volume up, your hand is full, right? And like your hand is full. It's so many cards, chat. Volume up frequently just sits in your hand rotting, doing nothing, just because you know if you play it, you're gonna overdraw. You're only gonna be able to take 2 of the options, and you're gonna overdraw something. You're not looking to maximize your volume up with this. Anyways, like I think it could be a really cute OTK deck with ETC. I think that's like where I'm looking at it. So anyways, what are this? It will play copies of the other 2 cards. It will not rip them from your opponent's hand for Theotar. Sir Finley, it will ignore hero powers and not consume a charge. Marut Stonebinder. What is Marut Stonebinder? Ugh! Help. How do I get out of this? Oh, glob. Thank goodness. All right. So that's Marut. Will discover A, B, and C. If you choose A, it will be summoned. Then a copy of B and C will be summoned. Then the original B and C will be added to your hand. You end up with A, B, and C in play and B and C in your hand. I see. That's seems not worth it. Volpera will discover A, B, and C, and it will also show mystery choice M. Choosing the M is not a discover, and nothing will happen other than receiving the mystery choice. If you choose A, then B and C will be played, and nothing will happen with M. Interesting. All right. On to gains a random Titan ability in your hand that changes every turn. So you could actually get most of them. That's so funny. So you gain, this gains a random Titan ability in your hand that changes every turn. I see. Destroy an enemy minion, then it gets health. Next spell costs 3. Okay, it's I like that it's going in order. All right. So all 3 Primus ones, all 3 Demon Hunter ones, all 3 ANR ones. Oh my goodness, this one's awful. Like, because they're meant to scale. But yeah, all 3 of the Mage ones. All 3 Midas ones. All 3 Priest ones. All 3 Rogue ones. No, only 2. Only 2 of the Shaman ones, because the Mage doesn't have Overload. Summon 2 Infernals, send all our minions into the Twisting Nether. Interesting, so it just doesn't need the portal to be out? And yeah, so only 2 of the Sargeras ones, because you don't have any minions to summon from the portal to give extra stuff to. It still has to draw the weapon in Mage. Did Mage get a different weapon? Didn't get a weapon. They should have taken this one off too. I know that like Mage technically has weapons. It has Sphere of Sapience, it has Alaneth, it has the Big Spell Mage one, but those aren't in standard, are they? Cosmic Keyboard, that's the one that I thought was a, that's not in standard, right? That's the Big Spell Mage one. I guess it's just the Spell Mage one. And there is a Big Spell Mage one too, right? Okay, so yeah, I guess. No weapons in standard. Yeah, they should have taken this one off too. This one shouldn't have been there. Forgot about Yogg. Fill your hand with tendrils. All right, so yeah, it's got some good ones. Only a few bad ones, I guess. So I mean, like that one is only useful in wild, pretty much. Popped over from the YouTube for this. For the quest, what if you infinitize the Maxitude as a way to complete it? I imagine we would likely play that. I'm not worried about completing it in an ETC OTK deck. Okay, can run the rogue weapon. All right, fair enough. Okay, Conjured Bookmungus. Oh my goodness, what a nerd. Look at this thing. 3 mana, 2/2 elemental, death rattle, draw a spell, kindred, summon a copy of this. 3 for 2 2/2 elementals that draw a spell. This is pretty good for Elemental Mage, actually. I think this is just straight up good for that deck. That is really good. You get 2 of them, it's going to draw you your I was thinking of the mech discounter, never mind. But like still, you know, you can get the fire spells that are really good in the Mage deck. I think this is just straight up good for Elemental Mage. Unearthed Artifacts, 2 mana, summon a 2-cost minion. If you've discovered this turn, summon a random 4-cost minion instead. That is a standard card if I've ever seen one. Why, nerd? You like him? I like nerds. He's just a nerd. Look at him. You can't look at him and tell me that's not a nerd. All right. Give me a likable nerd. Give me a likable anything. Except a poop flinger. Can't be a likable poop flinger. Okay, Relic of Kings. 7 mana. Discover a spell from any class that costs 8 or more. It costs 1. So it's meant to go as this is meant to be like a big quest payoff. We don't have any of those in Wild, right? Like ETC is the big one, but we don't have any like big Mage Discover cards that are like super duper good that we'd want to play to get all the things of it, do we? Pocket Dimension? What does Pocket Dimension do? Hearthstone Pocket Dimension. Discover a spell, repeat until you see one from the one for the second time. Is that good? I don't know. I feel like, is there a better one than this for Wild specifically? I can't think of one. Anyways. Storage Shuffle. 3 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion, cost 0 if you discover this turn. I mean, obviously in our funny quest deck we'd play this, right? Would this ever be like a quest line? Oh, to a minion? I'm kind of out. But I was thinking like quest line Mage could play this, and it has a lot of discover, so like, you know, it's just a free thing to get the payoff with later, but can't go face, so never mind. It's different I-Beam. It sure is. Story of the Waygate. 2 mana, reduce the cost of cards in your hand that didn't start in your deck by 1. How's that the Story of the Waygate? I don't think it is. I mean, it has vague, like, didn't start in your deck synergy, but meh. So reduce the cost of cards in your hand that didn't start in your deck by 1. Play with Evocation. This is kind of like, okay, so this is literally just bringing back, it should have been 2 mana, take another turn. True. This is just bringing back, you know, like APM Mage, right? Like you Evocation this and Flamewaker and hope your opponent explodes. Just like old times. Windswept Page Turner. I don't know if this was good. I think there's a chance it could be. Like 2 mana, reduce the cost of a ton of your cards in your hand. Like Mage can do stuff with that. So like it doesn't even have to be Evocation, right? You can play this to prep. Like you can have played First Flame, have played Ray of Frost, have discovered a few cards, and you know, set up a Flamewaker turn for later. It doesn't have to be Evocation. I'd rather just play New Sork and Old Sork. Not for this. Like, that has a deck. That's fine. That's just different. I don't know that I'm going to Flamewaker with that. That doesn't sound good. Is it? I guess I haven't tried. Like, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to play Quest Mage. After you summon an elemental, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. After you summon an elemental, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. If this sticks on 4 and then you play that one that copies itself a bunch of times on 5, that's a lot of damage. It seems too expensive, but I mean, it can cost 2. Like you can do this on 5 in the same turn even. Like you can play the 0 cost, reduce the cost of an elemental by 2, play this and then the copy thing. And 5 health is a lot. This could stick. You know, like Elemental Mage plays for tempo. And we have that new elemental that tutors all that stuff. So like you're gonna have the elemental discounter in your hand by the time you play this, most likely. I'm an optimist when it comes to this one. I feel like that's a lot of damage. Vault Breaker, 3 for 2 for after you discover a card, reduces cost by 1. So what's funny about this one is this existed as a neutral card, and it was nerfed because it was causing too many problems in Wild. Like every time they released a new patch, it broke. It broke the game or something like that. And so they nerfed, there was just this batch of like 5 or 6 cards, I forget how many, that they nerfed, not because they were power outliers, but because it was not worth the effort of having to fix the bugs caused by it literally every time they release new content, which is a very, very funny reason to nerf cards, to be honest. But so the excuse I'm going to make for this is that card was going to be in Wild until the end of time, right? Like from now until the end of time, it was going to be in Wild. This isn't, right? Well, I mean, it is, but there's a difference between having to fix something for the 2 years it spends in Standard than having to fix something for as long as Hearthstone exists. You know what I mean? So if I was going to make an excuse for them, I would say this card is probably just going to get nerfed and changed when it rotates to Wild. Anyways, it could also be that whatever was causing the problems with that other card don't exist in Mage, for all I know. I don't know what, I don't actually know what those problems were. For all I know, they are not Mage specific, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, after you discover a card reduces cost by 1, let's actually like talk about how good the card is. It's okay. I don't know. I'm not going to play it. You can play it. I'm not going to. It seems whatever. I mean, is it okay? Am I just like writing it off too quick? I feel like, you know, for the 3 mana 2/4, it just feels so whatever. Like in a deck where I would value all the discounts on the Discover, I'm probably playing pretty low to the ground, so I won't have the mana to play alongside this. If it was 2 mana, you would run it, or that they just fixed the underlying issue and could revert the old card if they wanted. Could be. Scrappy Scavenger, 1 mana 1/1 battle cry. Discover a card with cost equal to your remaining mana. Isn't this amazing with the quest? Like, it's good to activate the quest, and it's a payoff for the quest. Like, if you're in Standard, you're sitting at 8 mana, you play this, and it summons 2 7-cost things. This is so good with it. At first when I read it, I was like, okay, another one of these, and I was like, wait a second. Yeah, this is fine. Is this good in Wild? No, right? Nah, maybe in the quest deck, you know, because unless we have it like super hyper efficiently finding ETC for the OTK every time. OG Rafam is one of the funnier payoffs. That's funny. Eudora is the best play because of the Embers. I do not remember what Eudora does. Insane arena card? I guess it is. All right, on to Paladin. Mage actually did get what chat. I'm like so surprised. I've been chat. I'm not gonna lie. I have been very casually paying attention to these card releases, and I was mostly focused on the quests, which I think by and large have disappointed me. Although, like, you know, as we sit with it, some of them seem a little better than I initially gave them credit for, even if it's only a little better. But like a few of these sets have actually seemed pretty decent, right? You've been too bad about the quest to look at these other cards, but yeah, like some of the other cards are actually pretty wild playable. I'm surprised. Like we got some like interesting wild cards. Anyways, dive to the Bungus depths. You summon 5 Murlocs. This was a repeatable quest for the first time, so you don't actually have to pay 5 mana for whatever the reward is. It just casts and then goes again. So you summon 5 Murlocs. Your reward is Murlocs you summon gain +1/+1. And at first I thought, wow, we actually found one that's pretty good in Wild, but it doesn't give you like an instant aura for the rest of the game. It makes your future Murlocs come down stronger. So once you play 5 Murlocs, 5 whole Murlocs for their printed cost, right? Or for the printed stats, then your 6th Murloc will have +1/+1. And once you've done that, 5 times, then your 11th Murloc will have +2/+2. So it's like, I think it's slow. I think there's a chance that if there is enough solid value, this deck can't run out of gas, right? I think if you can keep playing Murlocs endlessly, this deck could easily be an extra large deck killer. Like if you never ever run out of gas, if you always have more Murlocs, then I think that this could be really good. But I don't think it's in the right class for that. I think Shaman does a lot better job of refilling with Murlocs. We have Brain Gill. So I don't know. It could be, between Crystology and that's it, nothing else, that we have enough value for this. But it could be okay. Honestly, I'm so on the fence. I have no idea. You could finish the Warrior quest and get Megafin. True. Howdy Fin is a thing. Howdy Fin is a thing. It's true. That would help. I'd play it. So, anyways, I think an extra large Murloc deck could be okay. I don't think it's going to be like a big meta contender, but I think it would be a Marshy video be fine. Why does Paladin always get the worst quest? I don't think this is the worst quest. I think there are plenty of worse quests than this. I think DK got the worst quest this time around. Does it need to recast every time? It auto casts. You don't have to spend any mana on it. It just does it. If it cost 5, if we had to do that every turn, no. Unless if it gave you a 5 mana 8/8 rushing Murloc, maybe with lifesteal and taunt and death rattle deal its attack damage to all enemies. Sure, that would be great. But it just recasts it. It just does it itself. You don't have to do anything. Galvadon is a great quest. The question was, why does Paladin always get the worst quest? And the implication being that this is the worst quest of this round, which is not true, which is what I was responding to. It's Summon and Not Played, and there are good Summon Murlocs. Yeah. I think the Dormant one would see play in this. Anyways, Ito of the Thresh Fleet, 4 mana 2/7. While this is alive, you get a 2-cost Holy Spell that gives a minion +2/+2 and Divine Shield. There's a Paladin card that makes Holy Spells cost 1 less, or am I lying? Thaddeus. Yeah, you could Thaddeus it, it's true. You can even play this with the Thaddeus up. How are you copying it in Paladin? What's that stupid so if you had 2 of the whatchamacallums out. No, it's when you target him with it, right? He has a holy volleyball from Perils and Stupid set. It's when you target him, your least expensive spell in hand gets -1. I forget what that card's called. Anyways, moving on. This card is interesting, right? So while this is alive, you get while this is alive, I'm out. It could be a Libram Paladin card, frankly. Thaddeus, you guys can keep mentioning Thaddeus, but until you tell me how I'm cheating out Thaddeus in this class, I'm not in. Does this work like Echo? Only it doesn't have the Echo nerf. You could play it for 0. This has potential to be something like broken and wild, right? Because at some point we're gonna figure out how to get Thaddeus out early enough to go with this. Thaddeus with Bone Lord, all right, okay. Well, it's alive, but it's a big booty, right? Like I think it could be an interesting tempo card, but I mean, you have to pay 2 for this each time. So if you're not like doing something like Thaddeus to let you play it a bunch, I don't know. If we're Nozdormuing, we're doing something better than this. Threshbinder's Blessing. So 5 Thresh Rider? Flesh Rider. Thresh Rider. Give a friendly minion +4/+4. Death Rattle summon a random 4-cost minion. Seems pretty fair. Don't think that's happening in Wild. 4 mana 2/5. At the end of your turn, recast a random holy spell you cast this turn. So you play this on 4 and then play this on 5. They did buff what you call it to 5 finally, right? Spike Ridge Steed targets this if possible, so it's not going to target the enemies. It's more interesting than Vargoth because Vargoth can target the enemy. Worse Vargoth? It's better Vargoth than Paladin. It wouldn't be as good as Vargoth in other classes, but in Paladin, yeah, it's absolutely better Vargoth. Libram Paladin support? I don't know. Spikers are out of 5. Yeah, I thought they buffed it finally. That's funny. So, like, I want to play this into Spike Ridge Steed. That sounds fun. I forgot Vargoth existed. Real. All right, so then we have Tyrannogil, which is a Murloc beast. It's a 6/6/3 rush. Death Rattle summon 3/2/1 Murlocs. Give them each a random bonus effect. Am I gonna play this in... Oh my goodness, this card is so cool. I'm a little like... This is the type of thing where if they release the goofy cards at a lower quantity and frequency, I would really appreciate it. I think this card is hilarious, but they do too much goofy now. It doesn't land as well, if you know what I mean. But I love that it, like, you know, like the little splits apart, you know, like they each have their own section of it. That's cute. I think you could run this in the quest deck because it has immediate impact and it like gives you a bunch of Murlocs to trigger through. Too expensive for the Murloc. I don't think the Murloc deck is going to be good unless it's just a value pile Murloc deck. I don't think it's going to be a rush Murloc deck. I think it's going to be a steady, consistent, ominous value deck. And this would be playable in that type of deck. How will we name these Murlocs? Then we have Violent okay, so Violet Treasure Gill I think is interesting, right? This one's interesting. I don't know that it's good, but I think it's at least interesting. I think it's something that, like, even if it isn't good in something right away, is eventually going to be really good. So it's a 2 for 1/2 Murloc. Battle Cry, cast a random spell from your deck that costs 2 or less that targets this if possible. So my first thought was Hand of a Doll, but that got nerfed to +2/+1. So like when I was first thinking like, yeah, 2 mana 3/4 draw a card, that is solid. Now it's 2 mana 3/3 draw a card, which is still like pretty good, but it's not like that at face value, right? Like it's that if you build for it specifically. So it just doesn't feel like as good a deal, which isn't to say that we wouldn't do that if we're running Violet Treasure Gill, but it's interesting. So then I thought, you know, Crystology, right? Like you play this with Crystology. It's 2 mana 1/2 draw 2 one attack minions from your deck, that's great. So like at least in that Murloc deck, we're playing this for sure. The only issue with this with Crystology is that it itself can be drawn with Crystology. So if you're playing this in like Libram Paladin, for example, you're muddying what you can get with your Crystology with it. So I'm not 100% confident on that one. Maybe in something like Holy Wrath Paladin, if it was going to run. But even then, I think no. Because like in Holy Wrath Paladin, you want to have control over when you play your Crystology, because you might have to be like trying to get your Night of Anointment off of the Finley. So, but then, you know, Cold Feet and Rebuke, right? So this could be 2 mana Lotheb or 2 mana like minion Lotheb in a specific build, but I don't think that this goes in anything. Like the decks that run Rebuke and Cold Feet right now are also running things like Showdown, and you don't really want to play this and draw your Showdown with it. So I don't know, like Showdown is a big one. I think Showdown is a big one preventing me from thinking that this card will see play. Because a lot of the time, you know, like sometimes that would be fine, right? Sometimes playing this into Showdown would be fine because you want to have Showdown out. But like in those type of decks, you're not only going to be running Showdown, so you never know when you're going to get it, if it's a good time or a bad time. And I don't think cutting Showdown is a good idea either, because Prismatic Beam is too nutty. So anyways, I don't know quite where this fits, but I think it has a lot of like build around potential. I think that this will someone said the mech spell. So you run Crystology in your mech deck and the mech spell, and then you're running this Murloc. Oh, the mechs, the draw 5 ones, and this is just another non-mech to play. I don't know, I don't see it. Like maybe I just think the other one's better, the 3-1. Maybe this is better than that, right? So hold on, are we actually running any 3-cost? Are we running any 3-cost spells in the mech deck? No, right? It's pretty much just Crystology and the Radar. So this is just a very marginal upgrade to Mech Paladin. So marginal upgrade to a deck that's not really seeing play. It's good exactly if we're not tutoring a 3-cost. So that's why I had to sit there and think about, does it run a 3-cost? And I had to think about it because Mech Paladin has not been a thing for quite a while. So that's my excuse. And by excuse, I mean valid justification. This goes right into my Equality Exodar deck. Wasn't Equality Exodar deck? I don't know. Anyways, this card is very interesting. I don't know that it goes in anything meta that because like I don't know, because of Showdown, I don't know that it goes into anything meta straight up, but it might just be the low roll of pulling out a Showdown is fine, right? Because otherwise you might be you don't really want to not have control of your Rebukes and Cold Feet either. So like I don't know that this is that good for those specifically either. So I don't know. It's an interesting card. I don't know that it's quite good enough for the average Paladin deck, but it's very interesting. 2 mana, give a minion 3 random bonus effects. Story of Galvadon. Man, if this was adapt 3 times, be nuts. Is this good? 3 random bonus effects. Divine Shield, Elusive, Lifesteal, Poisonous, Reborn, Rush, Taunt, Wind Fury. In a deck where you're like targeting things, you really don't want to give them Elusive. I wish they'd change Elusive from Shroud to Hexproof, chat. Elusive being Shroud has been a problem with that keyword forever. Is it good if you double it with Linessa? Maybe. It can't give the same one twice. presumably. You still don't get why it's not hexproof? I don't know. For those of you who haven't played MTG, Magic has two types of elusive. One works exactly like elusive, and one is only elusive for your opponents targeting it. You can still target it with your stuff. Anyways, onward. Maybe this card might be good. I think it's just the elusive being in there that kind of makes it feel awkward to me. Then we have Hot Spring Glider, 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry, your next Murloc costs 2 less. That can go across turns. Makes the Tyrannosaur even better, because now you can just play this on 3 and the Tyrannosaur on 4. And then gain Kindred to gain Divine Shield. I mean, this is just solid, right? You would play this in the Murloc deck, right? Because I'm assuming the Murloc quest is just going to be a value pile. Like good in slot Murlocs. I think this is fine. Different Clownfish. It is different Clownfish. To be fair, minions can still target elusive, right? You sure can. In your deck where you're trying to target your minions with spells, you know, the fact that your minions can still target it is extremely relevant. That's true. Ready the Fleet. I think this card is good. Ready the Fleet. 3 mana, give +1/+2 to a friendly minion and your other minions that share a type with it. Both of the other cards like this are Shaman cards, right? Just in relation to how it works with Magic. I don't. You're true. I'm sorry for biting your head off. Right? It wasn't that bad a comment. So like this is the only one the Paladin has access to. Like all other Murloc board wide things are Shaman cards, right? This is the first Paladin one, pretty sure. So for 3 mana, like we have the Shaman one was give everything +1/+1, and if it's a Murloc, it gets +2/+2. This is your Murloc specifically get +1/+2. So it like the floor is higher and the ceiling is lower. I think it's just a worse version of that. But does that mean it's not good? So are we gonna play this? I don't know. I'm not playing this. Like in the Murloc Quest Paladin deck, I'm trying to just play Murlocs and let the quest buff them. I don't think I'm trying to get this to buff them, right? I don't think I would play this. Like maybe if it was flipped, maybe if it was +2/+1, but I don't think for +1/+2 I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Submerge map. So 1 mana, discover a Murloc. If you play this turn, also pick one of the others. I think this is a home run. So you're gonna play it in your value pile Murloc quest deck. Would I play this in Mech Paladin? Probably not, especially if we're not playing the Vindicator. Like maybe with Vindicator, but not with if we're switching to the Murloc. I definitely don't want to play both, because like for every non-mech we play, radar gets worse. So like if we're running 2 Vindicators, 2 Murlocs, 2 of this on top of the 2 radars and the 2 Crystologies we're already running, that's a third of our deck isn't mechs anymore. That's too much. Yeah, that's good. So okay. Talking through all this stuff, I'm actually like way more excited for this set now. I was so thrown off by the quest being awkward that I haven't like really given the rest of the set a chance. I think I'm like kind of more excited now. On to Priest, we have Reach Equilibrium. So quest is cast 5 holy spells and you get Life's Breath, or cast 5 shadow spells, you get Death's Touch. Um, I should probably hurry it along. I'm going to be up here till 11. That's crazy. Today's video is definitely going to be late, chat. Now that I think about it. Anyways, so summon a copy of this. If you're holding both halves, summon, you combine them. This is just what it's going to look like when you complete that portion of the quest, right? Like if you scroll over to the sidebar. So taunt, battlecry, summon a copy of this is bad. 5 for reborn, death rattle, deal 5 damage to a random enemy is bad as a quest reward. But when they have both, it's a 5 for 8/8 taunt, reborn, battlecry, summon a copy of this, deal 5 damage to a random enemy. You guys think Paladin is a worse quest than this? Quest reward is a lot of damage with Zyrella. Yes. When the set drops, all quests will now wait if your hand is full to give you the reward. It's true. Anyways, I'm not excited about this. I don't get it, really, to be honest. It seems so awkward. All right, then Archaeos, Archaeos Beast, 3 mana 1/6. Whenever another friendly minion attacks, set its health equal to this minion's health. So you could, you know, pop off with your pirates on 1, play a Papercraft Angel on 2, play this on 3, an extra large Shadow Priest, and then that whole board sticks until the end of time. If it wasn't cleared early, I mean, it could be like it's a win more card, right? Like it's if you have a board, it helps you keep it. But like, you know, if you play this on curve and your original things stuck, they're sticking probably. Helps against Defile. Defile hits before this, so I don't think it helps against Defile. I mean, it helps against future Defiles, I guess, but I think you're probably getting, if you're against Warlock with Defile, you've probably gotten Defiled onto. So yeah, I think this is probably an extra large Shadow Priest card. It could also be a Inner Fire card, right? Because you could Divine Spirit this, attack. Wait, it's when another friendly minion attacks. So never mind. No, I don't think it's good for that. Because I was thinking you could play Confuse and just kill your opponent, but nah. All right, this card though, 6 mana 4/7 Naga, lifesteal, cost 1 if you've played a Holy and a Shadow spell this turn. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. So Raise Dead is 0, Renew is 0, but it's whatever. What are we doing with this? We this is something, right? Like, it's probably a Divine Spirit Inner Fire type of card, right? Because that's the type of deck that would still run both Shadow and Holy spells. But oh yeah, we're calling it Blessed Priest now. Yeah, that's true. All right, so Blessed Priest. Just your standard combo priest, I think, would play this because it runs both. It's like, it's so good, right? Like, you just never lose to aggro ever, never ever again. And it's like such a big body for 1, and it's so easy to complete it. I think this card's pretty good. So at least on 3, I think you can play this for 1 pretty reliably. Oftentimes on 2, because you have some 0-cost spells that you might want to play. Maybe you don't. I don't think, unless you're running Raise Dead, and then you're not really playing that on 2, right? In Inner Fire Priest. So yeah, this card's good. This quest scares you guys in Wild? You guys are messing with me? You guys are messing with me. This card's good. Play 5 Holy spells and 5 Shadow spells, and then play them both. You guys are messing with me, right? No way. This scares you in Wild? You think this is the nuts? I don't believe you. No. No. I don't believe you. I think it looks fun, but you don't think it looks good. I can't imagine it being like you're scared of this. No, you guys are tricking me. Not even if we had Radiant, no way. Like you guys want to play that quest reward on 5 after having played 10 total spells, specifically 5 of each type, and then start resummoning this with what? It looks cool and amazing to me, 100%. Like you guys can be excited about it, but people are saying they think this is gonna be the nuts in Wild. No way. I can in Wild. Trust you. All right, I'll trust you. All right. You come back and you gloat when that ends up being the nuts, because I scoff at the idea. All right, but I give you permission to come and gloat to me if it ends up being the nuts. Resurrect a 1, 2, and 3 cost minion. Give them Reborn. It is a shadow spell, so you can get back Patches, Parachute Brigand, and Renathal for 5. So that's like the ultimate low roll, right? And that's not even that bad. 5 for 3 minions, but they each have Reborn. It's like decent value. I don't think you're gonna do that though, right? Like it's better rally, but it's not good enough, right? It's just whatever. Like that's not the type of value I think you're looking for. I think at this point in the game you're digging for your Mind Blast and stuff. I don't think you're trying to like resummon your crappy minions. Wilted Shadow, 7 mana, 7/7 elemental, lifesteal. Whenever you heal an enemy, this attacks it. So you have the bandages off of the 3 cost, you have Renew, you have the 0 cost thing that heals both players for 5. Those are the zeros. Do you have anything that can heal your opponent in multiple rounds for 1? That's what I was saying. You can do this with Akanai Priest. If you do this with an Akanai Priest card, it's not going to trigger because you didn't heal the enemy, but also it's going to damage you whenever it attacks the enemy. Discount the quest. Why do you guys keep referencing Mizaki, the mage? What are you guys talking about? Please. Well, it's not Mizaki. Mizaki is a mage payoff card. Heal enemy's face to give this charge. I'm trying to think, like, is there anything that heals multiple times with one effect? That's what I'm looking for right now. That's what I'm on. So is there anything that will heal your opponent multiple times with one effect? 2/5 that discounts a random card in your hand. Careless Crafter? Why are there multiple people in my chat? Okay, Careless Crafter, that's the bandage one. I mentioned that. What is it? What is this thing that people keep saying? Oh, you're talking Nazmani. Like everyone in my chat is calling it Mazakai. No. I don't believe you. That quest is nothing. Stop it. You come back and tell me how stupid I am when it ends up breaking wild. But until then, I don't want to hear any more about how broken the quest is. Discovering a baking soda volcano, then Theatare, then play the minion that casts a spell from their hand. All right, it's perfect. The nuts. That's what it would take for me to think this was worth it. Is something that, like, you know, heals your opponent 3 times for 1 health. You will subscribe to me just to tell me? All right, very good. I look forward to that. You won't, because it's gonna be trash. It's an obviously terrible card. I'm being mean because I'd asked to not talk about it anymore. You've summoned Mean Marshal. That's what you're getting if we continue to talk about this. Summon a random 4-cost minion and give it taunt. Kindred, do it again. So if you played a shadow spell, is this a extra large shadow card? The thing is, the shadow spells in extra large shadow priest, you don't really want to be playing on 3, right? Like Mind Blast, you certainly don't. Mind Seer, sure. Acupuncture, not unless you're playing a Fell Wing. And even then, you don't want to do that on 3. You want to do that on 1 or 2. Excuse me. But like, it's a lot of stats if you activate the Kindred. If you have Vargoth, you can do it again, sure. You also don't want to draw this out of the 2 mana guy. I do if I have another shadow spell to play on 3. Probably. It's pretty decent. I don't know. I could see this. I could see it. I don't know for sure. If I was gonna bet either way, I'd say no, but like, I think there's a pretty decent probability this ends up being good enough. Glade Ecologist, 1 mana 2/1, Death Rattle, get a 1-cost holy spell that gives a minion +2 or -2 health. Choose a minion. If it's friendly, give it +2 health. If it's an enemy, give it -2 health. Interesting. Purifying Vines, so funny. Isn't this just good? Like, this just seems solid. You run this in extra large Shadow Priest, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like 1 mana 2/1, aggressively statted 1-drop that gives you a way to kind of like stay on board. Now you can get past indestructible. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe. Hard to say for sure, but maybe. The bandages on what you call them, are they holy? No, they're not. Yeah, I was thinking, like, could you run enough minions that give you a holy spell that you could play the Naga in extra large Shadow Priest, but I don't think so. All right, chat. What do you think? I want to see. Do you guys think it's broken or do you think it's unplayable? I think it's one of those 2 things. You tell me. What do you guys think? We got 1 for busted. No. Don't tell me about Imbue. Don't tell me about you. Running this in your deck. We're talking about putting this in the deck. Is it busted or unplayable? It would be good for 1 mana. It would be good for 1 mana. It'd be good for 5 mana. Twilight Seeker and Twilight What's-Her-Face. What's Twilight What's-Her-Face? Sets the top card to 1. Sharp-Eyed Seer doesn't put it on the top though, does it? Doesn't it just draw it? But anyways, you know, this is not good, I don't think. It just costs too much. I think even at 6, it could be okay. Because, like, it's more than, well, even these days, it's not more than Reno. But it could be okay at 6. And yes, I do think that this is going to be a very frustrating card for standard because it's in the imbue thing. Not that like I don't think it's going to make or break literally every imbue game with priest, but like there's going to be a decent back and forth, and the opposing player is going to be almost in a position to win, and then the imbue player is going to high roll this, and then that player is going to feel bad. So that's my opinion of this one. Grave Dawn, Sunbloom. There are too many interesting for wild cards. This is taking way longer than I expected it to, frankly. So I got to speed up. Grave Dawn, Sunbloom. 4 mana holy spell. Draw 2 cards. Kindred. They cost you less. This costs you less. So if you played a holy spell the turn before, this is nuts. This card is so good. This card is just crazy good. This is amazing. Priest wanted this for so long. It'll be a Blessed Priest card. Then Twilight Mender, 3 mana, 3/4, Death Rattle, get a random Holy and Shadow spell. If it was a random Holy and Shadow spell that costs 3 or less or something like that, I would say that this can go into Extra Large Shadow Priest and the little, the Vines one also, and we could run the Naga, but it could give you anything. It could even give you a boat, and boats are expensive, so no, it's not good. Priest again, pretty good set. Terrible quest, awful quest, embarrassing quest, but pretty good set. For Rogue, we have Lie in Wait. So it's the quest, shuffle cards into your deck 5 times. So this is shuffle 5 times, not shuffle 5 cards. That's important, because like cards like Gear Shift, if they shuffle more than, like if it was the amount of cards you shuffled, you could get this completed pretty quick. But it's shuffle 5 times, so you need Gear Shift and Secret Passage and more. But the reward is a hero card, so you become Master Bungus, and your battle cry is to summon 2 3/3 ninjas with stealth, and then your ninjas now shuffle back into your deck when they die. So your cards that create ninjas make more ninjas. Its hero power is draw 2 cards that didn't start in your deck. I led with Gear Shift. You guys aren't listening. It was the first card I mentioned. You draw 2 cards that didn't start in your deck. So it puts the 2 ninjas in right away. You got that. And then whatever else you want to put in. So this is not quest support, but we'll find more. There's more stuff that goes with this. Does tradable work? No, because that card started in your deck. Opu the Unseen, 6 mana, 6/4, Battle Cry combo, and Death Rattle, cast Fan of Knives. I think this card is going to be really good in standard. Because 6 mana for deal 2 damage to all enemy minions and draw 2 cards is very good. And then you have the upside of after it dies, you draw again. Is it unbelievably horrible for Wild? I don't think it's unbelievably horrible for Wild, but I don't think it's great for Wild. But it's not unbelievably horrible. I think that's exaggerating quite a bit, frankly. Because like if you were going to run a Reno pile, I think this could be okay in it. I don't think it's unbelievably horrible. But I don't really see it seeing play in Wild, to be honest. Underbrush Tracker, 7 mana, 5/5 rush. Costs 1 less for each time you've shuffled cards into your deck. So 7 times is a lot to make this cost 0. It has rush, which is good, but like Gear Shift is the only good shuffle card for Rogue, other than possibly this other 2 cost we're going to get to in a minute. And maybe, but probably not Gang Up. So like it's going to be really hard to get this close enough to be like a good card, I think. And if we're doing the shuffle thing anyway, we're getting a bunch of free 3/3s. So like I don't think we need this in a deck that's built to do it well. So like with the Tourist, by the way, you get to we'll talk about it when we get to the 2 cost spell. Anyways, I don't think that, like, even if we do manage to build a deck that could reliably get this to 0 before turn 5, I don't think we care about that. I think it's just too slow. Stenographer is definitely better Maybe not in this deck, but like Miracle Rogue is going to be better than a deck that does this efficiently, I think. Anyways, knockback, deal 1 damage to a minion, improve for each time you shuffle cards into your deck. And we're gonna run Plunderer before we run this, I think. I don't think this is anything. Arena card? You think this is an arena card? This is an awful arena card. You need to build around this. You need to build around this so hard. This isn't an arena card. This is awful in arena. Ambush Predators, 3 mana shadow spell, summon a 1/1 spitter with stealth and poisonous. Kindred, do it again. They like Druid has a very similar card to this. It was like 5 mana for summoning 2 1/2 spiders. And like it almost got printed at 4, and they were like, this is gonna break the game. And so they nerfed it before they released it, and released it at 5, and of course it's awful. But that was the same set where they released Spreading Plague. And Ultimate Infestation. And the card they were worried about was the Poison Spider card. Pretty funny. Do I think that 2 mana off the Poison Spider card is worth 1 less health and stealth, and we specifically have to play a shadow spell beforehand? Surely not, right? Isn't this awful? Like maybe it's something in standard. And like, I don't know. Now we're on to a good card. So Cultist Map, 2 mana for discover a card from your deck. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. The nuts. Straight into Miracle Rogue. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just get it right in there. Super good card. I think this card's great. Amazing card. You hate this card? I love this card. This is great. Goes in everything, yeah. Eyes in the Sky. 2 mana, 2/3. Look at the 3 cards in your enemy's deck. Look at the top. Look at 3 cards in your enemy's deck. Boom. I think like in your enemy's deck. Has it ever said that before? Doesn't it say your opponent? It's like totally throwing me off that it says your enemies. What if me and my opponents are friends? Can I not do it? Weird. It hasn't used the enemy word this way before, right? It said opponent. Or am I tripping? Anyways, so you look at the top 3 cards of your enemy's deck, and you put one on the top. So you could bounce this a bunch of times and make sure your opponent always draws the worst card, or you could bounce something with a powerful battle cry and just kill them. Seems like a pile card. I think this is 2 mana, 2/3, do nothing. I think this is River Crocolisk. I don't want to run River Crocolisk. Why is it so swole? It's just beefy. Neferset Weaponsmith. 4 mana, 5/4, battle cry, get a random weapon for another class. Combo, give it +2 attack. I don't even think that this is good enough for standard. It might be, I guess. I don't know. I guess if you're playing Opoo, then maybe this is good enough. I think it's tough to want to play a 4 mana 5/4, get a random something in Rogue. It just doesn't seem very good. Yeah, I don't know. I think probably bad. Definitely bad in Wild, right? Because like the weapons can be awful, but like if this was discover a random weapon, I would think it was decent in standard at least. Interrogation. So 2 mana, shuffle 3 3/3 ninjas with stealth into your deck that are summoned when drawn. So in addition to this, you could play Maestra, and it would allow you to run the Warlock 2-cost spell that shuffles 4 3/3s into your deck. So between the 2 of them, that's like a lot of shuffle potential. So if you're like, you just get a lot of like free stuff as you draw your deck normally. So whether or not you run the quest, and honestly, whether or not you run the tourist card, if you could just run this in Miracle Rogue, and you would just get free stuff as you try to draw through your deck. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. It could be good. It could be terrible. Which Warlock card shuffles? It's like 2 mana, shuffle 4 3/3s into your deck. I forget what it's called. It's a Warlock card. I'm pretty sure it was from Perils. I could be making it up. Am I making it up? Was it not from Perils? Was it from like Alterac? It's from Alterac. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. All right, I take it back then. It's just this one. So yeah, you can't run the tourist. I mean, like, I don't know. I think this could be good in Miracle Rogue. Could this card play a similar role to patches in Questline Demon Hunter, like with Everything Must Go? Feel like this clogs the board in Miracle Rogue? I don't think so. I mean, it might. I think on average, no, though. I think it like gives you an additional way to the what would make me not want to run this in Miracle Rogue isn't because it would clog the board, because if there's a bunch of 3/3s early on my board, I'm happy, right? I'm fine with that, them pressuring, and then I can refill with the giants later. What I'm worried about is Secret Passage being scuffed because you have a bunch of these in your deck. So I don't know. I think this will, like, if you're gonna play the quest, obviously you're gonna play this, I think. But yeah, this card is gonna be very good in standard and very terrible in wild. So 1 mana, 1/2, discover a legendary minion. I actually think could be decent in the right rogue deck. But I view the rest of this as a downside in wild, because you're gonna play this, you're gonna get 1 passable legendary minion that'll go to your hand, and then you're gonna get 2 abysmal legendary minions that are gonna go to your deck to brick you. You're gonna basically shuffle 2 Baku into your deck for later. So I think this is a pretty solid. It also like ruins your quest if you're running the quest, right? Because like you don't want to draw those legendary minions. Like the average legendary minion is going to be way more powerful. Passage shuffles at the end of your turn. That's true. Why did you say it though? The average legendary in standard is going to be way more powerful, so this is less stupid in standard, but in wild I think it makes this unplayable. So Rogue got like 1 very, very good card and some other stuff that might be interesting. Shaman, Spirit of the Mountains. So play 7 minions of unique types. That's so many. Can you even name, like, how fast can you name the unique types? So like all Murloc, Mech, Quilboar, Dragon, Elemental, Pirate, Beast, Bungus. There's 13. So like, I don't know. That's so many of like. I know that like, I know there are enough, right? I'm just saying like 7 is a lot of unique types to ask for. I think it's a lot to ask for. What is going to reliably activate that and not be the worst I've ever seen? You don't think it's that impractical? I think so. So you have to fill your deck with tons and tons of stuff. So okay, the reward is Battlecry, adapt twice, and for the rest of the game, give minions you play those adaptations. So if you get +3 in Wind Fury, it's the nuts. If you get like elusive and 1/1s, it's terrible. The reward is bad also? I don't think so. I think the reward is just fine. Reward's great. Just ask, like, it asks you to build a terrible deck. Shutter block with the reward sounds fun, at least. True. You can, yeah, you can macaw it. If you get anything other than Wind Fury, it sucks. Really? I think that, you know, some of them are pretty good. When you finish the quest, you're dead. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just don't think that, like, I think the ask is too awkward for the reward. Like, if it was play 7 Murlocs, maybe it'd be too good. But, I don't know. Sounds kind of funny with Shudderwalk. I'll try to do something with it. It just seems so awkward. I don't know. We'll see. Brahma Searstone, 3 mana 1/5. Your elementals deal 1 extra damage. So this works with that stupid Cinder thing. Your elementals deal 1 extra damage. Is there a good like elemental that deals? I know there's a mage one that deals like 7 damage randomly split, but that would deal 8 damage randomly split, right? Is there one that like deals the damage and then repeats it for each something? It can't give rush. It's not a bonus effect, it's an adaptation. I don't know about this. Maybe something in the set. Stagclaw, 5 mana 3/4. It would do 2 times 7? Because spell damage is 1 extra damage, and it would not work that way. With 8 damage split. You want to deal 1 damage multiple times. You don't want to have a big damage split. But maybe, I don't know, maybe like... I'm just wording it off of consistency with spell damage. That doesn't mean that this is the same way. They do whatever. So anyways, okay. So what's an elemental that does that then? Is there one? Other than the little one, like, is there one with like a big bungus? Big damage. Like Astalor. Maybe not quite Astalor, but you know. I know Mage has one. I just don't remember if Shaman has one. So summon 2/2/1 Sizzling Cinders. Kindred, trigger your Sizzling Cinders death rattles. Okay. Deal 2 damage to the lowest health enemy 3 times. Okay. So this like that's not a wild card, I don't think. It's too expensive. This is also, well, if you can clear the enemies, like, so say you have, I don't know how you do it. Because like you could like lightning storm and then do this with like some spell damage, but the 9 mana 9/9 guy from the last mini set, Lava Flow is crazy amounts of damage. It is, but like it has to, you need to have spell damage and you need your opponent's board to be clear for this to go phase. Deal 3 damage, summon that many 2/1 Sizzling Cinders. That's cute. Cost 6 though, it's too much. 3 mana 2/3 beast, draw a fire spell, kindred, give it +2 spell damage. Oh. Draw a fire spell, give it +2 spell damage. So it's meant to combo with the Lava Flow. Yeah, I don't think that's happening in Wild. But you know, that would alone make it kind of worth it, right? Because then that's 12 damage if you can go face with it. Mountain Map, 1 mana, discover a minion with a type you haven't played. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. Okay, so this makes your completion of the quest a little bit better. I actually think that quest has high potential in Standard. I think that could be pretty good. Mechanized Magma, 4 mana 2/5, elemental mech. Whenever you play a fire spell, gain stats equal to its cost. Huh. It's pretty funny. I don't know what I would do with this in Wild, but okay, so I'd timeline accelerator it. Then I could play it, and what's the 10 damage randomly, but it only hits the enemy board? That would make it a 7/10. I could do more next turn. I don't know. I don't think it's good, but it's funny. Flight of the Firehawk. 3 mana, draw 2 minions of different minion types, give them +2/+2. I think this is just kind of a Shutterwalk card, right? 3 mana, draw 2 minions and buff them. Not bad. I think it's fine in a lot of things, probably. You could probably even run... No. I got a little excited for Murloc Paladin and then remembered I was talking about Murloc Paladin and not Murloc Shaman. But if you could run this in the Murloc Paladin quest, I'd be excited about that. Oh, it is kind of a Ysera Shaman, isn't it? No, I like it less. Cinderfin, 2 mana, 1/2 elemental Murloc. Death Rattle, summon a 2/0. Just 1/2/1 Sizzling Cinder. It's probably fine for standard. Alright, well, Shaman seems very standard. Not too much exciting for wild there. Warlock coming up on the end. So Escape the Underfell. Quest, play 6 temporary cards. Reward Underfell Rift. So 6 temporary cards, and you will get... Open a rift to the Underfell, throw a card in to summon 2 random Fellbeasts once a turn. So the Fellbeasts are a 5/3, like, and it summons them, right? Yeah, it summons them, so you don't have to pay the 5. A 5/3 Rush Lifesteal, a 4/4 Charge Elusive, and a 3/5 Taunt Reborn. All of these are great. All these are great. This quest seems meme at best. I think this card is like... kind of scary for standard, honestly. I feel like this card is going to be very standard good. As far as wild, I feel like, okay, so having to pay the 5 for the quest makes me like, maybe not. It's tough to say, but these minions are all 3 really good, and you get 2 of them for free every turn. Like, these are good minions. These aren't okay minions. Like, this one's okay, but these 2 are good minions, and you get at least 1 good minion and 1 pretty good minion every time. Sometimes 2 really good minions. So, like, I don't know. Any of your cards becoming summon 1 of these 2 or 2 of these for the rest of the game seems very good to me. I think it's more than standard fine. I think this is standard good. Like, if you complete this quest, that's like really good value for the rest of the game. And wild, I don't know. I just, like, in wild, I think we have better stuff to do, because, like, I feel like this is going to share very similar matchups with the Demon Seed as far as, like, what's strong, but Demon Seed is going to win them so much more decisively, right? Like, the value you get from this isn't going to come close to what mass production Tamsin can do for you. So I think that this, like, I think people are underappreciating this quest. I think this quest is good. I just think in wild specifically, it doesn't do anything better than we can already do in wild. Don't you have to throw cards into it after it's completed, activated? You do, but, like, a card is worth these 2 minions, right? Tossing a card, as long as you have card draw, which, like, with 40 cards in your deck and Warlock's draw, you will have card draw for this. Like, it turns any of your cards into 0 mana, summon 2 of these for the rest of the game every turn. This is really good tempo. I don't understand why people don't think that part of the quest is good. The part of the quest that's a little awkward is playing the temporary cards, but, like, we have really good cards for that too. So anyways, I don't think this card's going to be good in wild, simply because we have things in wild already that are just better at what this is good at. This quest is good at having ridiculous value for the rest of the game, and we have better effects for that in wild already. Like, Rita Warlock has Symphony Sargeras, and Demon Seed has Tamsin mass production. So, like, this isn't better than either of those 2 things. That's why this card isn't good in wild, but I think it'll be definitely very good in standard. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Then we have Razadir. 4 mana, 7/7. Battlecry, discard a random card from your hand. Kindred, your opponent's hand instead. What do you think, chat? This card is toxic. I think this card sucks. They're asking me to play a demon or a beast before this, and like it's one random card. So if I've played it, like at least for a while, I don't know about standard, frankly. Like the standard might run enough demons and beasts to activate this very consistently, in which case it's 4 mana 7/7 with upside. But like in wild, like Reno Warlock players are going to play this whether it's good or not. That's just true. This is the type of card that is going to get played in Reno Warlock decks, whether it's good or not. But you know, when it's active, sometimes it's going to hit your one good card, but like it just dies to Shadow Word Death or off of Zephrys or something. Like it's so non-threatening to me. A one of card that, like, if the conditions are just right, doesn't have a down, like has an upside instead of a downside. I don't know. I think it's really bad. Great, but where? What do you mean great, but where? I don't know. Like, okay, so if it was a 4 mana 7/7, always discard one of your opponent's cards, I think it's probably a good card. But like, yeah, where are you running enough demons and beasts to activate this consistently on curve? Is this better Dirty Rat? You think it's better Dirty Rat? I don't think it's better Dirty Rat at all. Different, worse Ticketus? I wouldn't even compare this to Ticketus. I think the Dirty Rat comparison is better, but it's just like it's awful. Anyways, Whispering Stone, 5 mana 0/8 taunt. Death Rat will get 2 random fell spells. They cost health instead of mana. It's a card I've ever seen. Cursed Catacombs. Okay, now we have a good card. So 0 mana fell. Discover a minion from your deck, make it temporary. So this isn't even just discover a card in your deck. This is discover a minion specifically. So you said it doesn't have an. I don't even think that's that good. Like, it's not like it doesn't have. It doesn't have potential to have a home. Like, I don't know. Like in a deck with a ton of demons and beasts, I'm playing in an aggro deck, and in wild, I don't want like one singular tall bomb that's easy to remove to take up my whole turn. I want to go wide, and then I want to buff my going wides. You know, like I don't know. This I don't know. It seems awful to me. I'm not convinced. This is nutty though. So discover a minion from your deck, make it temporary. The fewer minions you run, the better it gets, but I think it's good in literally everything. I think this is just always good forever. This is better aquatic form to me, I think. Maybe not much better, depending, because like, you know, in a discard deck, this is the nuts, right? Like this, the best possible home for this is in a discard deck. You just like on turn 1, you're just picking so on turn 1 you play Grave Defiler to copy a fell spell in your hand, so you get 2 of these. You play them both, and you hit the 2/5 with taunt and Silver Word Golem for 3/4, and then you just have insane turn 1 tempo, right? But this, like, it picks from specifically your minions, so like depending on how you're going to build your deck, you can also just make it so that it's much more likely to hit a playable card early. I don't know. This is just going to slot right into most Warlock decks in the same way that Aquatic Form slots into most Druid decks, I think. Plus, it has the upside of having discard Warlock synergy. You don't think you'll play with this on turn 1 or 2? You will if it's a discard Warlock deck. You will 100% will. You will draw it the turn you will play it the turn you draw it, because if it hits Silver War Golem or the 2/5, and you will build your deck so that it likely will, it's just going to summon that right away. You don't have to pay any mana for it. Story of the Lakari, 7 mana. At the end of your turn, discard a card and fill your board with 3/2 imps. Last 3 turns. Can we cheat this out with anything? Seems okay as a top end. Interesting. Could we run it in some kind of like pile aggro warlock deck? Probably not. I think it's a little too expensive for that. Blood Bloom. Yeah, we can just Blood Bloom it. If your hand is empty, do you think it'll still summon the imps? A yes and a no? Hard to say. I don't know. This is interesting if it'll do it regardless. Huh. I don't know. I think like I would be happy to run Blood Bloom in this as some kind of weird pile aggro deck, at least for a video. I think it's cute. Deathrot Ma, 6 mana, 2/8, taunt, Death Rattle, summon a Fell Beast. Bleh. Nah. Blood Petal Biome, 1 mana, discover a temporary 1-cost minion. Pretty good. So the new temporary cards are the 0-cost card, which we can also double with Grave Defiler, and Blood Petal Biome and the Platasaur are all like really good cards that will give you temporary cards you can play. I think completing the quests could be pretty easy. The 2 for 3/2. What is that thing called? It gives you a temporary copy of something. It is temporary, right? Like it has the temporary keyword. Yeah, Solarium is great for the quest. Solarium, I was trying to think of like other not always played temporary cards that Wild specifically offers. So I don't know. I think completing the quest could be pretty easy. Destroy an enemy minion. Kindred, deal 2 damage to all minions. So this card, I think, is a Reno Warlock card. Yes, the miniature elemental. But the fact that you have to play the cards, like I was really high on the miniature, like when I first saw this quest, I thought it was just you had to like get temporary cards, and I was like, this is going to be the nuts. But you have to actually play them. So I'm less high on the elemental for Wild anyway. Is that thing still in standard? It is, right? Miniatures Whizbangs. So yeah, they'll probably run it in standard. But yeah, so like this to me is a Reno pile card, and there just aren't the fell spells for this in Wild. If you could reliably Kindred this, I would say yeah, it's good, but I don't think you can. Tunnel Terror, 3 mana, 4/3 beast, Death Rattle, get 2 random temporary 2-cost minions. Nah. Like I'm sure you'll play that in standard. I don't think we would play it in Wild. We have better options. Spelunker, 2 mana, 2/3. Your next temporary card costs 2 less. Not sure what to think of this. Well, what I like about this is you can play it on 2, and then you can like Solarium on 3, and then whatever of those cards was going to be clunky to play, you can play it more easily because this effect is still around. But I don't think that's worth putting it in. All right, so that was Warlock. Warlock is interesting. Got one like really broken card. Like discard Warlock is going to be back for sure. With that's a huge upgrade to discard Warlock specifically, but just generally, I think most Warlocks are just going to play that card because it's just good. Oh, is that no? It only hits minions. Never mind. I was going to say like, oh, is that going to make Furnace better? No. But yeah, on to Warrior. So this is my favorite card of the set. Do I think it's going to be amazing Wild? No. Do I think it's going to be great for Marshy content? Yes. I think this is a phenomenal Marshy content card. So quests, survive 10 turns, reward, you get Spungus, the Gaze of the City. And what that does is it's a 5 for 8/8, and you get 2 random Journey to Ungoro, like the original set's quest rewards, and shuffle the rest in your deck. Odd Warrior is as back as it is. Yeah, I don't think Odd Warrior is back. I'm probably not going to play this in Odd Warrior unless viewers really want me to. But I'm probably just going to play it in Value Pile Warrior and enjoy it. Just always get Time Warp. Like, is a deck that's built to just survive until turn 10, is it really gonna make the most out of Time Warp right away? I don't think so. But getting Galvadon and Time Warp on your 10th turn, that's pretty good. But it also shuffles the other ones back in, so you just get so much payoff with this. It's really fun. So anyways, yeah, so a marshy style deck that's just going to run a ton of shield shatters, sanitizes, maybe all the brawls. I don't know. That's just going to sit back and wait patiently for my opponent to break their keyboard and walk away because they're so bored of facing me clearing their boards every turn. This is going to be a fun payoff for that. Bran into 2 Time Warps ends it. The Crystal Core synergy with all the 8/8s. Well, I mean, the Crystal Core synergy, Crystal Core has good synergy with Nether Portal, has good synergy with the Murlocs, has good synergy with the Shuffle the Raptors in. I don't really care about the 8/8s with Crystal Core. I think it has more, tons of synergy with the Roared otherwise. So yeah, I think this is gonna be crazy fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is a marshy content machine of a quest, especially if it's not good, which I don't think it will be. It's gonna be fine, which is all I need it to be. When did Queen Carnessa get rushed? Caverns of Time. Nabla the Watcher, 6 mana 5/7. Summon copies of your damaged minions. Give the copies rush. Sudden Genesis costs 4 now, right? Or does it still cost 5? It costs 4, doesn't it? Didn't they buff it to 4? It's 4? Okay, so this is no home in Wild. Well, I guess it's give the copies rush. Genesis doesn't do that. But I mean, Thaddeus Warrior doesn't care about that, does it? I don't think so. So, yeah. City Defenses, 4 mana, summon 2/06 security with taunt. They gain +1 attack when they're damaged. Interesting. I think probably not good enough for Even Warrior. Almost assuredly. Definitely not good for other Renathal stuff, but probably could be an okay standard card. I don't know. Stonecarver, at the end of your turn, give a random friendly damaged minion +2/+2. Pretty snowbally. Oh, it can target itself, right? So you can just play this and then Inner Rage it. Story of Sulfuras, 5 mana, swap your hero power to deal 8 damage to a random enemy. After 2 uses, swap back. So this is just awful Metamorphosis. So sad. So Metamorphosis costs 1 less mana to play, 1 less mana to use, and deals most of the damage while also being targeted. This is just really bad, isn't it? I think this is worse in 2025 than the actual quest. Shellnado, 4 mana, spend up to 5 armor. For each spent, deal 1 damage to all minions. So when I first saw this, I thought, wow, more Even Warrior support. But after it kind of set in, this is like Reckless Flurry for 1 more mana, but it doesn't clear as big of boards. So like Reckless Flurry, the upside of this compared to Reckless Flurry is that it only consumes 5 armor. So like against some boards you only need, against a lot of boards you only need 5 armor. so like it doesn't spend as much as the Reckless Flurry would, but you know, when you Reckless Flurry, you probably have 5 or less armor most of the time. I know because I've played a lot of Reckless Flurry. And usually what happens in Odd Warrior is you had no armor because your opponent's been pressuring you down. You hero power and Reckless Flurry for 4. And you can't even do that with Shelnado. Like you can't run this in Odd Warrior. So I think it's just worse. And you know, we have Sanitize and Shield Shatter and Avalanche, and we have so many good clears right now. Why do we need this? Like, you know, like if this cost 2 and dealt up to 3, I would think it was really good. But it doesn't, right? Like 5 is a really good, like a good breakpoint, but nah. Apparently it does the Aftershocks thing, so a little better than Flurry, but I think Aftershocks is still better. Aftershocks is definitely still better. And like having the upside of potentially clearing some Death Rattle minions or whatever, I don't know that that's actually better than Reckless Flurry. But it, like, as far as hitting skipper minions, it's a little better, right? Like if you want to use this as a, like Schmoopy was saying, like he would consider this for Aftershocks skipper redundancy in a Armorsmith deck. That's something, but I don't think it's enough of a something. I think it's just bad. Like I need this to cost less with a lower cap, or to not be limited to just 5 armor. Like spend armor, like spend your armor like Corpse Explosion does, where it goes until you run out of minions to hit or until you run out of armor to spend. 3 for 3/3, deal 2 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, gain 5 armor. So 3 for 3/3 deal 2 is not great in 2025, but upside of gain 5 armor, probably still really bad. I don't know. Maybe like in an Odd Warrior, I would play it. Windspeak Worm, 8 mana, 6/6 dragon. Battle Cry, deals 5 damage and gain 5 armor. Kindred costs 3 less. So I wish this was an elemental dragon. If this was an elemental dragon, I would play Lava Gorger on 4 into this on 5 and be really happy about it. It's but it's not. You need to play a dragon the previous turn. And like, did it even get another dragon? Okay, so they had a dragon set last set, Warrior did. So like maybe standard Warrior could think about it, but I think most of the time it's just worse Tidal Revenant and Wild. Axe of the Forefathers, 3 mana 2/2. After your hero attacks, deal 1 damage to all minions. This card is really good. Give this card a Marshy out of Marshy. This card is nuts. Here's your skipper redundancy. This card is fantastic. I don't know. This card's super good. Give it an A+. Like it's just really good into like aggro decks, right? You can clear Shadow Priest over 2 turns. You can activate your Armorsmith stuff. It just seems really solid. If you're me, you can summon some Grim Patrons. Fortify, 3 mana, gain 3 armor, deal damage equal to your armor to an enemy minion. So a Shield Slam with the upside of also giving you a little bit of armor. Is that worth 2 extra mana on Shield Slam? Maybe, just because it's always good, right? Well, I mean, for 3 mana, Shield Slam is always good similarly, right? So like you can just hero power and Shield Slam for 3 mana. So it's only slightly better than that. Worse Bash? It is worse Bash. I mean, like it has a higher upside, right? Because you can clear a large minion with this. You can't clear a large minion with Bash. And I think most of the time you don't really care about the Bash going face, except when it comes to post Odin. It's certainly an Odd Warrior card. I think this is phenomenal in Odd Warrior. Not that Odd Warrior is good. I don't know. Maybe this is okay. Man, I wish it was 2. It would be so cool if it was 2. And that's all the cards. All right. Well, Warrior had an awkward set, I think. It's got like a couple like big funnies for me and a couple cards that were almost good but just aren't. This weapon, I think, is that like their actual best card they got? But like really, most classes got something really solid. So I don't know. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it.